This video is about making not just jewelry, but wearable art.
I walked into the museum. I stared in awe at the beautiful art. Although I am a creative, I wouldn't know where to start.
How many of you remember the agate and howlite series that I just put out earlier this year being 2026? In that video, I had some clear acrylic beads, but I didn't use them. And some of you asked me, what are you going to do with those beads, Vickie? Are you going to make something with those clear acrylic beads? Well, today we are. Yes, we are. And I'm pretty excited about it because the idea kind of evolved. It's pretty unique. And by the time I was done with it, well, I decided it was wearable art. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Vickie. Welcome. Do know that my videos are to inspire you. They are for inspiration for you to get into your own bead stash, your thrifted and vintage finds, jewelry that you want to upcycle and take apart, or get into your new beads. That's completely up to you. And with all that said, let's get started. Let's take a look at the clear beads. These are faceted. And again, clear acrylic or plastic, if you will, whatever you want to call them, but I'm going to call them acrylic. And then we have the smooth round beads. So that's what we have. And I am going to introduce a new strand of beads with this upcycle. I have this strand right here. And these are little black discs. I've had them for a long time. They're actually cat size, black cat size, 2.8 millimeter by 7 millimeter. And as I said, I've had them for a long time. They're made by Doris. I'm hoping I have enough of these to make what I want to make. And there's one more thing. We're going to be working with some random beads I've been accumulating from other upcycles. We're going to see how many of these we can incorporate into the clear bead necklace. What do you think? Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take this apart. Let's get this last bead off of here. We'll probably need every single one. I have an idea of how I want to work these beads in, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. So first I'm going to see if I can put a head pin on here without the beads falling through. And I think I'm going to need a small bead at the bottom. And that small bead, well, it's just going to be a little black seed bead. Let's pick up a seed bead. Add any of the random beads that I have here. And we could put a seed bead at the top or not. I'm thinking perhaps not. And let's cut this. Let's allow about a 1/2 inch, approximately 1/2 inch. I want this bowl underneath so you can see what I'm doing. We have the black seed bead on a 2-inch head pin with a random bead from the bead mix that you set aside. And we want to allow about 3/4 of an inch. You can take a ruler if you want to get an idea of what 3/4 of an inch would look like. It's 2 inches, so basically I'm going to cut off 1/4 of an inch. So push the beads down. Put your finger underneath there so the beads are pushed down. And either take round nose pliers or a loop making tool. I'm going to start out with the round nose pliers. And the wire is flush. We're going to roll it. Adjust your round nose pliers and roll it again. And just keep adjusting until you've basically made a split ring. You can pull it back a little if you need to straighten it up, but then roll it down to the bead. So that's what we have. I hope you can see that it's a split ring. And then take flat nose pliers and just give it a little pinch. Make sure you don't have any sharp edges sticking out. If you do have a sharp edge sticking out, you can just take that and just kind of tuck it inside. The important thing is that it's not sharp to the touch. We have one down, and we're going to do the same thing to several beads here. I'm not sure how many. I'm just randomly picking some of my beads, but I'm always going to start out with small seed bead. And I chose black because these are black. I'll be using those in the necklace. And just select whatever bead cause your name. It could even be one of these metal beads. Here's a purple cat's eye. This time, this bead is shorter than the first one, so I probably want to cut a little more off than just the 1/4 inch. We're trying to leave 3/4 above the bead, give or take. I'm just trimming off a little more than the 1/4 inch. This time, let's try the loop making tool. First of all, is the small one enough? Yes, the small one is enough. So I'm going to put the wire flush right here, and I'm just going to start rolling it and rolling it and rolling it. I can see that I'm not staying real consistent with my loop, but I did accomplish the goal of making it a split ring. And then I'm just going to give it a little pinch. I don't think they have to be perfect. I just think you don't want to have any sharp edges. So there's another bead ready. Do another one. Some of these beads are usable, some aren't. I can see there's some imperfections in here, but what I am going for is a mix of colors. I want more than 1/2 inch, so about 3/4 inch above the bead. And I'm going to try the looping tool again. And I'll have a link for this below the video. In fact, I'll put the QR code for my Amazon affiliate store for Avante Jewelry on the screen here. And so just, maybe I'll slow down a little bit. Just roll this down until I have a split ring, and taking flat nose pliers. And if you want, you can straighten this up a little bit if you want to, but give it a little squeeze. I think this is my least favorite so far because I kind of rushed it. But we can put our round nose pliers in here and kind of reshape it just a little bit. This is a great idea for using up random beads. I don't know about you, but I always seem to have some bead soup lying around. Yes, bead soup. Those leftover beads from other projects, some stones, some glass, some ceramic, wood, who knows what. This is a great design to use up those random, often one-of-a-kind beads, along with a few acrylic beads, of course. I'm going to make some more of these little beads with the little split ring. I may not use all of these, but I'm going to make some more, and I'll just play some music.
I walked into the museum. I stared in awe at the beautiful art. Although I am a creative, I wouldn't know where to start. Applying paint to canvas is not my forte. It's upcycling jewelry, that is my way, that is my art. My table is my canvas, the beads and findings are my paint. My jewelry tools are my brushes. My creativity knows no restraints. Hand me a bag full of beads, a little chain and findings, and I create as I please. Unlike paint on canvas, if my idea doesn't go just right, I simply take it apart. No mistakes to cover up. I love knowing that from the start I can change my mind at any time. I can start again if I choose. They were beads before, and I hope soon be wearable art. Making jewelry is so forgiving. There is no right or wrong. Art is a process, like paint on canvas or writing a song. Jewelry upcycling, that's where I belong. As I left the gallery, inspired by what I saw, I couldn't wait to get home. Not to paint, not to draw, but to play with my stash I've been saving for just this. With tools in my hands and thrifted necklaces waiting their turn, I opened up jump beads of joy, brilliant and bright. Metals that shined from my overhead light. I stared at my canvas and it stared right back. There was no shortage of inspiration, it was courage I lacked. Because in that moment I questioned my choice. Can I really make art like on canvas? I brushed aside my self-doubt. I am creative, I told myself. They were beads before, soon to be wearable art. I hope my hands moved swiftly as my design came to life. A necklace, a pair of earrings, a bracelet too. The beads might be vintage, but the design was new. When I was done, I stared at what I made. It was then that I knew this is different. Call it renewed, upcycled, or such. I knew as soon as I tried it on that yes, indeed, I had made art. Wearable art. They were beads before, they are beads no more. This is wearable art. The beads waited patiently for years, waiting their turn.
I have quite a few made. I don't know if it's enough. I can always make some more, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on stringing the necklace. You could do the same thing with solid white beads or black beads. It doesn't have to be acrylic. It's just what I worked with. I just wanted to see if I could do anything with them. I have some 49 strand bead stringing wire. Let's see here, 12 and 10 is 22. I'm sure that's more than enough. And let's just start here. Let's just start with alternating a smooth round bead with a cat's eye saucer bead, and then let's go with the textured, the faceted bead, and just alternate. I don't think this is going to show up very well against the black, so I'll get a bead mat. For about an 18-inch necklace. So I think I'm actually going to back down to about 4 inches. It's just slightly over 4 inches. And this is where we're going to start working in these bead dangles that we made. Starting with the smaller ones first. And then I'm going to alternate saucer bead on each side of that. This one is round, so I'm going to go with the faceted. And then another saucer bead. And pick up another bead. No rhyme or reason really for it. I'm just putting a saucer bead on each side of it. That was faceted, so I'm going to go with smooth.
Stringing beads clear, alternating with black cat's eye beads, adding a unique bead in between. One at a time, relaxing for sure. Repeat the pattern, being sure not to miss a clearer, smooth the acrylic bead in between. Keep going until you have the length that you would like, keeping in mind your focal point bead that will drape at the front of the neck. Repeat the pattern, work your way up the other side. You may want larger beads. Around the top, finish with alternating clear and round acrylic beads around the neck, alternating with black cat's eye beads, or whatever you choose to in between.
Let's see what we've got. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and be sure to comment. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And ring that little bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I've got lots of videos on the channel. As you can see, we have a very unique, to put it lightly, very unique necklace. Artsy fartsy, if you will. And it's asymmetrical because all the different beads are different sizes. This ends up being pretty much the center. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably put this one in the center because that's just me. But the black works fine because the black is what ties everything together. The little seed bead, the spacer beads, etc. And now we're just ready to finish it off. I've pulled out a couple of tiny little black round beads. I have 2 little silver beads, 4mm, and a couple crimp beads, and a hook clasp. I've already checked to make sure that from my last bead here that I have the same amount of beads, although they do alternate. Can you see I've got the faceted and the smooth opposite of each other, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's just go with this. This is just a fun, quick and easy necklace. That's basically a conversation piece, if you will. I'm going to add the small round bead, little silver bead, silver plated, pick up a crimp bead, not a crimp tube, I'm just going with a bead. And then I'm going to wire in hook clasp. Just going to go through there, put the wire through there, and then back through the crimp bead. And we're just going to flatten this, pulling on it really hard. It's good, it's not going anywhere. Thread the beads through there and then push all the beads down and around. We don't have a lot of wire left, so it's a good thing I didn't cut it any shorter than what I did. Just trying to find the hole in this bead. It's eluding me here. Pick up the crimp bead, then go through the smaller loop of this part of the clasp, and then go back down through the crimp bead and a couple of other beads. I don't think I'll go through the clear acrylic. I think I'll stop at the black bead and then just pull on that, the end that moves. Tighten that up, but make sure you have some flexibility, but you don't want any gaps. I think I'm pretty good. And then I do push the crimp bead down just a little bit so there's some flex there, and then flatten it. And you could do a crimp tube and all that good stuff if you want. It's good. I'm going to just do it one more time. Let's cut the wire off. I'd like for that to have been a little shorter, but maybe I can fit it into the acrylic bead. And we have our upcycled acrylic bead with random beads, colorful, artsy, definitely a conversation piece, right? How about if we make a couple of pairs of earrings to go with our necklace? Should be easy, right? And the earrings don't have to match with this necklace. We could do one that's faceted and one that's smooth. Not really sure, but I'm going to grab a couple of head pins. And I think we can still use these seed beads. So let's just pick up a seed bead at the bottom of each of these. This faux red turquoise, they're not the same size, but they're close. What if we put the acrylic bead on the bottom? Go with that faceted bead and then try this. Oh wow, the holes are drilled completely different. And those beads are two different sizes. So I think I'm going to end up making the earrings different. And you know, some people like that. I've got this purple cat's eye. That's the same. I have it down here. If I kept that bead the same on each one. Oh, let's get those two of these spacer beads in here. And then try the cat's eye bead. No, it's a little busy here. Let's move these aside. I don't know. I think I might like the cat's eye bead on the bottom. I was really leaning towards the red. These almost seem too big. Maybe I can make 2 pairs of earrings to go with this. I'm looking at all the other different colors, looking here to see what I have left. I didn't really think about the earrings in the moment of making the necklace. Obviously I didn't, but let's see what happens here. My takeaway is I wish I had left that bead loose to make earrings. Maybe I'm trying too hard to make the earrings match when nothing else does. Maybe we should just go for a completely random. Do I have this green bead in here? Yes, I do. Anything else in here? I have clear. I thought I had this bead in here, but I don't see it. Oh, yes, I do. I have it right there. What happens if we just make 2 different earrings? Am I getting too carried away now? Probably. I can just hear you right now. Those are different sizes. Oh gosh. You know, it's really hard for me to do asymmetrical and mixed beads. I always seem to lean towards very specific pattern around, so this is challenging me on trying to make a little pair of earrings. I'm going to think on this for a minute and I'll be right back. This is what I've come up with, unless I go find another one of these green beads. I've got a clear and a green. I might have another green. I'm going to check. It was actually easier for me to find 2 clear AB rondelles than to find the colors. So, you know, as I said, these are random beads left over. So let's go ahead and add a small round bead to the top of these. Got a couple of ear wires, round nose pliers. Just going to push, I don't know what I'm going to do with all of these yet. We'll see, I'll just set those aside. Push the beads down, bend it at a right angle, cut it down to about 3/8 of an inch. Head pins flush, make a loop, close the loop. I went a little forward, so I'm going to straighten that up, close it up. The same thing here, push the beads down, 3/8 of an inch. Open the wire sideways on the ear wire, close that up. And we have a pair of earrings to wear with these. Now, for those of you who like random and asymmetrical, because I know some of you do, let's just make a second pair here with the little black seed bead at the bottom. I'm trying to make sure the seed beads are the same size because they do vary. I didn't worry about it too much on the ends of those, of the beads, but all right, so let's put the faceted bead on the bottom. Got the faceted beads on the bottom and then the black disc, and that's what they look like. I need 2 ear wires, and we'll finish off with a small round bead on top and just do the same thing. Earrings, pair number 2, and we could make a bracelet in the same way, but I think I'm going to stop here. Let's take a quick look at the beads before I made the necklace, and then I'll show you the necklace, and then I'm going to pop back in and try it on.
The beads waited patiently for years, waiting their turn to become art in my hands. Yes, I can make art. Wearable art. And you can too. All you have to do is start.
What do you think? Isn't it pretty cool? I think it is, and I can't wait to try it on for you. But about those earrings, yeah, the earrings I just showed you, well, I started this upcycle, this video, over a month ago, and I have misplaced the earrings. Yeah, I can't find the earrings. They're around here somewhere. I spent about an hour looking before I came down here to start this video. So I had to whip up a new pair, make them work as close as I could. But keep watching here. I'm going to go put on the necklace and the new earrings that I made. And since I'm keeping this set, I'm not worried so much about having those earrings right now to list them on eBay, in our eBay store. Yeah, I know they're around here somewhere. I never lose joy. Before I try it on, I need to show it to you and tell you something. Besides the fact that I misplaced the earrings, I decided to change it. Yeah. After trying it on, there were a few things like that focal point bead that I wasn't really crazy about. I wanted the focal point to have more impact. So I tweaked it a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with it here. I'm going to show it to you with the new earrings that I made, and then I'm going to try it on. Are you ready for it? My upcycled to wearable art. Here it is. I don't know about you, but I love it, and I'm so glad I added a nice large pendant here. It's the focal point. It makes the whole necklace pop, and I highly recommend doing something like this if you're going to make one of these. You know, when I started the necklace, I truly was just working with my bead soup and just going with it. I didn't put a lot of thought into how it was laying. I did have larger beads, you know, around the bottom and smaller around the neck, but the focal point, that's what it needed. When I had it done and I tried it on, I thought, gosh, you know, it needs a larger focal point. So I found this in my stash, and I absolutely love it. One more thing before I put this necklace on. The music that you heard in this video is original lyrics. Yes, I wrote this song. I can't take full responsibility for the music, but I absolutely wrote every single word in the song Wearable Art. Pretty excited about that. That's a new direction I'm going, writing the music for the channel. If you like music, make sure you watch all the way to the end because I'm inserting a bonus song that was inspired by a recent comment from a subscriber. I think you'll kind of be surprised by it. But in the meantime, let me get this necklace on and show it to you. Gotta make sure it's facing the right direction. It is. I did change the clasp as well. I changed it to a lobster clasp with an extension chain because when I tried it on with the hook clasp, it was just a little too long for a lot of my V-neck tops. So this one happens to have a longer, deeper V-neck than some. Anyway, I still need to get an earring on here. Yeah, earrings. Are you ready to see the wearable art? I feel like I should be going to a museum today or a gallery. Let's take a closer look. Sorry about that. They weren't even laying the right direction, but now they are. Here you go. What do you think? Is it wearable art? You'll have to leave a comment and let me know. I think it's wearable art. I'm going to wear it as wearable art. And I'm going to have fun wearing it because this one is staying in my jewelry box. It is. And the earrings, I have a little seed bead at the bottom. I have 2 of the little black saucer beads, the cat's eye beads, and just a multicolor bead on top. So there you go. Wearable art. I thought this sweater kind of looked cool with it. I'd put a hat on if I could find one. They're all packed away. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. And keep watching here because I'm going to share with you that song that was inspired by a viewer's recent comment. It's, it's different, but I wrote it from the heart. And to me, aside from the comment, I hope your takeaway is to feel inspired. Yes, inspired. That's what I hope for. And for right now, I'll say thank you for watching and commenting and thumbs up and a hype if you get the chance. But here's the song.
I made a video, shaggy hoop earrings. Most viewers love them, but one viewer did not. Her comment caught me by surprise. She looks old, like her jewelry. I paused for a moment. Her words roll around in my head. Who says such a thing? Has she no elderly people in her life? No mother or grandmother to teach her that what she said was impolite. She looks old, like her jewelry. Perhaps I am old. When I was young girl, I thought every adult was old if they weren't in their teens like me. At the same time, I loved and appreciated the elderly people surrounding me. As to my jewelry, that's another story. I've always loved vintage, long before I was 40. She looks old, like her jewelry. I guess I am. I'm 67. But what defines age? I've known people with old souls who were barely 30. Age is a number, it doesn't define me. As to my jewelry, it may not be your style, but old. I laughed out loud. Someday, young lady, you will catch your reflection in a mirror and see an old lady, as you say. You will learn by that time, when your hair is turning gray, that age and beauty isn't defined by what others say. It's how you feel about yourself. How young are you at heart? Have you accepted the choices you made? No regrets, no worries. Do you wake up embracing each day? No matter how many miles you have put on that old body, can you still look in the mirror every morning, grateful for the life you have thus far, and smile? She looks so like her jewelry. Perhaps I do to you. Your common change is nothing. I love life, I am happy. I will keep giving, keep doing, keep creating. She looks so like her